Chaps, in partnership with Cancer Research, are hosting a collection day at the Den. It's on the 12th of April. There's a chance to get hold of signed shirts, pin badges, and many more things. So show your appreciation and support and get down there like the true Millwall family does. Thank you.
This is Cas for the Norre, and you're watching the Chat with Chaps live show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Chat with Chaps midweek live show, where we're going to discuss Sheffield United yesterday, and of course the Borough game coming up this Saturday. On our tonight's panel, we've got two people that are don't need no introduction, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. To the side of me, we've got the Sicilian Godfather himself, the one and only Angelo Migliotto. How you doing, Angelo?
Good evening, guys. Good evening, everybody.
Any killings lately?
It sounded like you was going to say midlife crisis.
I know. I think I'm going through one at the moment. It sort of blurts out of my mouth. I thought, hang on, get it back in again. Any contract killings lately, Angelo? Has everyone been all right? Or we'll keep that quiet, yeah, shall we? All right then. Maybe we might need to kill Coburn's agent, but we'll talk about that a bit later on, won't we? When we touch on that. But cheers, Angelo. Good having you on, mate. And then underneath me is the Great Dane himself. I'm not talking about Kasper Schmeichel. I'm not talking about his old man Peter Schmeichel. I'm not even talking about Lucas Jensen. I'm talking about the one and only Jesper Dangard. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. For a minute, I thought we were going to mention Paul Hubert as the one and only, but thankfully you mentioned me. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, is Cat B. I'll put you in Cat A.
Yeah. As you can hear, I'm sat in a laundromat right now. It's machine's going off right now, so apologies for that. It should be finished in 2 minutes, but yeah, I'm happy to be here. Seems like ages ago since we talked, Joe. So good to be back. Good to have football back, and yeah, what a great performance that was yesterday.
Absolutely, the modern day man. I love it. Who says men can't multitask? Fantastic. Let's go to the chat and let's see who's in the house tonight. So,
Joe, this sounds a little bit dodgy, doesn't it? I'm killing people, and Jesper's laundering.
He's laundering. I thought he said he's in the laundry. I thought he was doing his washing.
Laundering.
Yeah, I'm taking money laundering to a literal level right now. So
all those nappies that need cleaning, eh? Oh God! Right. Anyway, let's go to the chat. Number one is Cole Bracey. How you doing, Cole? Hope you're well, mate. The one and only Jeff. How are you, Jeff, mate? Good evening, boys. What a week for a channel on our club. Absolutely. Lots to talk about that. That's a very quick reminder as well, Jeff. We will talk about it a little bit later on. But first of all, if you're on here at the moment, please subscribe to the channel. Like the show, all the things you do helps with the algorithms that then makes us more money for Cancer Research UK, and we'll all talk about that in a minute. Back to the chat. Craig Jones, evening. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. Chris Brown, how are you, mate? Hope you're good. Hope to do a good show tonight for you, mate. And Hughesy, evening all. How are you, mate? Des A, ahoy. How are you? Les, evening. War Lions here as well. Come on, you Lions. Dave Turner, good evening, gang. Luke, what's happening, boys? Lions Roar, good evening. Good evening, gents. All Pompey tonight, aren't we? I think so. We're looking at the... you'll be checking the results, Jesper and Angela. I'm sure you will be. Play Up Pompey. Yeah, we'll be singing Play Up Pompey tonight. Craig wants to say really good post-match analysis last night, Angelo. Well done, Angelo. I agree. That was fantastic. And guys, you didn't know this. I think he did mention actually, he literally had like no warning of this whatsoever. It's like dropped him at the last minute. So I thought he'd done fantastic, to be honest with you. Really good. Daytona, Play Up Pompey. Luke, up the Pompey. Oh, everyone's turned to Pompey fans. This is the right podcast live we're on at the moment. I feel like I'm doing a Pompey one.
Joe, that was one of the mistakes I made last night. I thought they were playing Oxford.
Yeah,
Gary Rowett going to do us a favour, and then I said, "No, we're playing Pompey." I thought,
evening all, even Colin. Gary Miles, evening all, Gary. Gary, was it you that I saw at the Den on Saturday? Mentioned it. I don't know if it was you. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was yourself, mate. But yeah, put it in the chat. Let me know if it was. Good to see you, mate. Colin Taylor, evening. Evening, Andrew Cahill. Hope you're well, mate. Jimmy, a cricket chat with no chaps. No, chaps is very busy with working. Unfortunately, he works in the American market, so you'll often find in the evenings he's stuck working while you and I are not. So unfortunately, that's his life. That's what he has to do, sadly. Eddie, hi, lads. Oh, lads, here we go. That's what he meant. Scott Barnard, even gents, lovely the channel this season. Well done, all involved. Mill, thanks, Scott. We really do appreciate hearing it. And banging on time. Look, just about crept in before the door shut. Even gentlemen, there's Alex S. There you go. Right, breathe. Woo. Guys, what a result yesterday. I mean, who saw that coming? I think we all talked about how important it would be not to lose that game, and if anything, we want to get a point at least, get a draw. But to go there, Angelo, and win and get 3 points in a clean sheet. I mean, unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, mate. I think deep down, if we'd have got a draw, that would have been an unreal result. To grab a draw. I believe they got the second best home record in the championship as well, and it's a tough place to go. I think it did help us the little dispute that Chris Wilder had with the fans.
What was that dispute? I heard you mention that in your post-match analysis.
Well, funny enough, mate, like the Millwall fans lost the plot when we drew with Oxford. Well, yeah. Sheffield United lost to Oxford, and there was a small section of away fans that started giving the Sheffield United players some grief. So Chris Wilder, in his post-match reaction, I think he went a little bit too strong. He actually called his fan base a disgrace.
Really?
Which is a little. I think it's a. Yeah, he was upset. Like
disgrace. Is it worse than Fico? Do you reckon? What on the barometer? Yeah. What we go? Fico, disgrace. I mean, that's like taking the piss, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's such a big coincidence, isn't it? It caused us a problem with Harris, and it's caused a problem with Sheffield United. So he's called the fans a disgrace, and he also said to him, if we play well, don't clap if you're going to be like that. So
really.
Yes, I felt the atmosphere for a club pushing for promotion. It sounded like a really flat atmosphere in that ground, and they were in second place at the beginning of that game. It's crazy, mate.
And like you said, Angelo, a lot of their fans were leaving with like 5 minutes, to go, weren't they? Which is ridiculous. You don't get that in Millwall. Imagine trying to chase a point, as you're trying to fight for promotion, to leave with 5 minutes plus injury time left. It is a disgrace, isn't it? Really? I think he's right.
Yeah, there's one goal in it, and they're going for promotion to the Premier League, and their fans are leaving on 88 minutes. And it wasn't just one or two; there was droves of them. You could hear the Millwall fans singing. Is there a fire drill? Yeah, mate. I don't understand that, mate. You won't get me leaving a game at 1-0. I never leave anyway, mate. Yeah, but 1-0 down and you leave the ground when you're pushing for promotion. Exactly.
It's a
disgrace.
It is disgrace. Wilder's right. I'll back Wilder.
Yeah.
Jesper, your thoughts on yesterday's performance, and we will talk about the nitty gritties and everything else, players, formations, but just your thoughts on the actual performance of our boys last night.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I came home yesterday. I'm still a bit under the weather. I wasn't feeling too well, but I always tune in, when we play, and I thought, well, let's see what we can do. But when you saw the starting lineup, this 4-4-2 diamond, no Tanganga, Carl Bates said on Millwall TV, we were traveling without 11 first-team players due to injuries.
Wow.
And, you could almost see the writing on the wall that we were going to lose maybe 2 or 3-0 up there. But as Angelo said, when the game kicked off, the atmosphere was flat. Sheffield United, they came with like 90% in the beginning. It was just a bit lackluster, and you could see there was something in the game there for us, and we had a real spring in our step from the very get-go. I think if Brewster scores that goal after 5 minutes from that corner, it's a completely different story, but he didn't. And after that, we sort of settled into the game, and we played some really, really good football. And I thought, if we played like that all season, where could we have been then? It was just brilliant from start to finish, from defense, goalkeeper to the front two. Perfect performance. And of course, we had that bit of luck. They had a couple of good chances second half, but you need that when you go to Bramble Lane. You can't expect to turn up and just, beat them 2 or 3-0 comfortably. You need that little bit. So yeah, I was surprised, but I was just buzzing when I woke up this morning. I thought, what a performance, and what a time to get that performance. Sets us up nicely for the last 5 games. I have to be honest, when we went into the Pompey game at the weekend, I didn't think we had a chance of reaching the playoffs. I'm still a bit skeptic, I have to say, but why not? I mean, there's 5 games left, and if there's anything more important than going into these 5 games, it's momentum. You need momentum. You can have played very well for 40 games, but if you don't hit the run of form in the last 5 games, it doesn't matter. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we can do in the last 5 games.
Absolutely. And everyone always says it. Yeah, how often do the teams the ones that are late to arrive in the playoffs, that hit that bit of form, often go on to get to the final and winning it, don't they? And they come out of nowhere sometimes. I think the amount of teams that's sort of done that over the years, it's incredible. So who say it won't be us? And like yourself, Jesper, I thought our dreams were well over a couple of weeks ago. But to be in the position we're in at the moment, which is 3 points from six spots, is incredible. We will touch on that a little bit later. Staying yourself, Jesper, just wanted to discuss, you mentioned about the formation, obviously 4-4-2, a diamond midfield. I don't know if you remember the Mick McCarthy era back in the early 90s.
It's just a bit too early for me. I haven't done much research about the 90s area. I came in, around the millennium, so I haven't seen much of the formation we used to play back then, no.
No, of course. So back then, Mick McCarthy played a system where it was like a diamond midfield. And I think he had Andy Roberts, he had Alex Ray in that team, Andy May, Malcolm Allen sometimes. And they all played in this sort of system, which is incredible because they're very hard to kind of pick up, these players. And they're the front two as well at the time. And it was really good on the eye, really good football, very competitive in the midfield as well. And we haven't really played that system for a very, very long time. But I think yesterday, Jesper, it seemed like it kind of worked with the players we had available and the type of game it was to try and shut Sheffield United out. What did you make of that system, the formation, and how we kind of played it out?
First, I thought the formation was based on what we had available, sort of personnel-wise, that this is how we could play because we were out quite a few wingers. There's no Assis, there's no Negley, there's no BBB. Generally just lacking attacking options. So, but I think it was also to cramp the midfield, sort of to simply, congest the central area of the pitch and not allowing Sheffield United to play in there. But it just worked very well. But I think we should be careful of saying, this is how we should be playing going forward, because I think there were certain elements to it that it was to eliminate the threat of Sheffield United and at the same time being dangerous on the counter. So this is definitely an option now for Alex Neil, and he's seen how well it can work. I just think we have to be careful expecting that this is how we can play every game, because it won't be. But I really I thought we looked well. We looked like a team who played this formation many times. So yeah, just really surprising how well we played, because when I saw the lineup, no disrespect, I wasn't too keen on it, to be honest, but just have to say it worked a treat, really.
Yeah, it really did, Jesper. And Angelo, just get your thoughts on it. First, what do you think of the formation? How did it work and how did it play out for you? And I guess more importantly, with the players we don't have available at the moment, is this a system that you think he's going to adopt, Alex Neil, going forward for the next sort of few games? And what might happen when the likes of Aziz and Negley come back? How will they fit into that system? Because that's another question mark you need to ask yourself, don't you?
Yeah, first of all, Joe, I do remember that system under Mick McCarthy.
Do you?
Do you remember it, mate?
I'm glad I'm not the only old git in this chat.
But one thing, mate, we were scoring 5s and 6s.
We were. Jamie Morley. I done an interview with John Goodman, which I think you can find on YouTube. And I really enjoyed it, and he talked about that system. We discussed it, and he was kind of breaking it down, the system and how it worked. And he mentioned about the player sitting deep in a DM role. That was like Billy Mitchell last night. He talked about the player on the top of the diamond, which I think was Malcolm Allen, who did that job. And then he mentioned like Andy Roberts and Alex Ray that were on the side of the diamond. Their job was to go up and down which was like Honeyman and Kundal last night. We had Casper in the top, didn't we? And then Mitchell at the bottom. But then they had Jamie Morley up front and John Goodman, who, again, these two were scoring goals for fun during that era. We challenged for the playoffs, didn't we, as well, if you remember? I think we lost to... who was it we lost to now in that playoffs? At Derby, I think, over two legs. Gabardini scored. I remember, never forget that. But yeah, he was just saying about how effective it was. And seeing them yesterday and the players we had available, it just seemed to work perfectly well, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Andy May used to sit in that in the deep role, and he was like,
yes.
He was superb, mate. He was just an orchestrator, wasn't he? He was just like spray the balls left, right, and centre.
Good player.
I can remember we beat Brentford 6-1 or something. It was unbelievable football. But yeah, listen, it was a surprise last night. What Jesper just said, he might have gone for that system because of the players we got available. I do like that he's sticking with the two up front. You know, he's persisted with that for like 3 or 4 games now. And the first game, nobody liked it, but slowly, they're starting to build up a little bit of a relationship. And you know, my big criticism was that we don't create enough chances. The stats. They say stats don't lie. The stats lied last night because, you know, apparently they had 25 shots. And apparently we had 5 shots, but we had really good chances last night. You know, we had a header from Coburn that I think it hit his shoulder. He had the one where he was slightly offside. He blasted it over the bar. BFS had 2 chances. He had that glorious chance, which still haunts me today. He had another chance, and the strikers are getting chances, mate. And if it clicks, we could score 4 or 5 goals here and there. So I like the system, mate. I've seen it in action before. And mate, I know you're going to talk about the players individually later, but fucking hell, Billy Perlo last night, mate.
Billy Perlo. Billy Perlo.
That's his new name, mate. The best performance I've ever seen from Billy.
Let's hope
that suited him last night.
I agree. Let's hope that's the game we call him all rest of the season. Go back to your stats. I actually got a slide there. Sorry to hide your face there, Jesper. Angelo, but just going back to your point, that you're right. Every single stat there, they kind of beat us on, didn't they? But they don't show the key chances. Like you say, I think we had 3 key chances. They had 1, didn't they, from memory? But it's incredible, really. When you look at those stats and how we sort of played, how we contained them, really. Which is good.
The stats don't tell the real story, mate.
They don't.
No,
not at all. Not at all. Obviously, we talked about the formation, how effective it was. I guess the question I need to ask you guys, I'll start with you first, Angelo, is the playoff dream still alive? Obviously, at one point, everyone was sort of talking against the idea. I mean, guys in the chat, please put it in there. Is the playoff dream alive? Give us a simple yes or no in your opinion. So if you look at Opta stats, guys, they're suggesting that Millwall should be achieving 64 points this season, which will probably end up on 9th, according to Opta, which 9th is not good enough. But then in 6th spot, they've got Coventry finishing there on 68 points. So in order for us to get to the 6th spot, we need to get, I believe it's like 12 points from the next 5 games. Is that right? 3, 6, 9, 12. So that's like 4 wins and a loss, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
To give us 69 points, because we've got bad goal difference, so we have 1 point more than Coventry. But if we get 4 wins starting on Saturday, that could potentially put us in 6th spot, and we could afford to lose one of those games. That might be Burnley last game of the season. You don't know, do you? And again, looking at the next 5 games, if I could just bring this up here to give you an idea. You can see that. Again, Jesper, apologies. We've got Middlesbrough obviously on Saturday. We like to think it's winnable, don't we, guys? Blackburn away. Again, I think that's winnable. Norwich at home. I think that's winnable. And Swansea at home, which again, I think is winnable. The one I don't think is winnable, which will be a tough one, but yet we can still do a job. And we did it with Sheffield United yesterday, is the Burnley away. So can you see us getting 4 wins out of those 5, Angelo?
Well, Joe, first of all, Burnley might be on the beach by the time we play them. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
hopefully, yeah. So it might not matter, but I don't know actually because it's really close up there. But yeah, for sure, all the other games. Middlesbrough on Saturday, we're at home. It's going to be a sellout crowd. Yeah. The downside is obviously there's no Josh Coburn, but it's a home game, so we should win our home games. Yeah. Blackburn are in awful form at the moment, mate. Yeah, I know it's a tough place to go, and we've never ever done well up there, but they're in disarray at the moment, and their season's over. Norwich is a bit of a bogey team, but again, it's a home game. We've got to win our home games. Yeah, we've won 2 on the bounce at home now as well.
True.
And Swansea, mate, they picked up on under their new caretaker manager. You know, they shocked Leeds the other day as well, and who did they beat the other day at home? They beat quite a good team as well at home the other week.
Sunderland.
Huh?
Was it Sunderland? Oh, yeah, I noticed they beat quite a bit.
Yeah, they beat someone decent. So Swansea is probably going to be.
Was it West Brom? I can't remember. It was West Brom.
Yeah, it could be.
I think so. One of those. Yeah.
So Swansea are in form, and they've reacted well to their caretaker manager. So that one's probably going to be our toughest game. But mate, they're all winnable. If we can go Sheffield United and win 1-0, yeah, we can beat anybody, mate. So it's in our hands. If you're asking me, is the playoff dream alive? I really like the way that Alex Neil has been handling it the last 4 or 5 weeks. It's like, let's just try and keep our season alive, yeah, and that's all we can do. Let's try and beat Middlesbrough. Let's see how the other results go, and let's just progress. Deep down in the back of my mind, I don't think we're going to do it, but there's more chance that we could do it now. And yeah, let's just take one game. Let's just take.
So what you go your heart or your head? Are we going to do it? Can we get 4 wins out of the next 5?
I'm going to give the diplomatic manager answer. I'm going to take one game at a
time. Get those splinters out your backside, Angelo. Jesper, yourself, is a dream still alive, or do you think it's a foregone conclusion now? I mean, obviously, we're in a much stronger position now than we were a couple of weeks ago, but do you think it's all a little bit too late now? What's your thoughts on that?
I think my main concern is that we're still not scoring enough goals, but we're not conceding many as well, which gives us a chance to win the games. I would say the dream is definitely alive, and I would even say you could still catch the likes of Bristol City. The next 5 games, there's going to be so much at stake, you know, for all the teams in and around the playoffs. Who's going to handle the pressure, best, and who's going to nick a spot, on the final day. This reminds me about the season 2 years ago when we were in pole position to take that 6th spot, and Sunderland came from behind on the final day and nicked it because we lost to Blackburn. It's sort of, you have 4 or 5 teams now playing for 2 spots, and we are just as much in it as the other teams. But not to repeat Angelo, but I would also say let's take one game at a time. Let's not look at the fixture list and say we should win this, and this, because it's the championship. We know that's not how it happens. It's not how it works. But if we can go to Sheffield United and we can win, and we could put in performances like we did yesterday with 11 players out, or how many we have. I know not all of them are first team starters, but despite that, we can put in these sort of performances, then why not? Why shouldn't we be able to compete? It's this is now when the season finishes, it comes to an end, and then who can handle the pressure the most? Why not? I mean, I would also say I don't think we will make it. I hope we will make it.
Yeah, no. Again, I'm agreeing with both of you guys. It's going to be a tough ask, but we've seen teams in this league do this, haven't we? We've seen teams, muster a 5-6, winning streak, and I think with the formation, the way it's working, as Angelo said earlier, I think the BFS and Coburn are definitely sort of strike up a kind of relationship, and not just on the pitch. You can sort of see the relationship they've got for each other, the respect they've got for each other, the fact that they're kind of hugging each other and looking for each other in the passes. How many times did Coburn try and pick Ivanovic out and vice versa? That yes, they want to score goals, but they're actually appreciating each other, and I think you can see them actually kind of forming some kind of relationship at the moment. So you never know. Good question here for yourself at first, Jesper. You could answer it. Is lads, do you think Alex Neil will play Langstaff alongside Ivanovic on Saturday and bring on AJ Matthews if either of the 2 strikers are having an off day? Matthews has been scoring goals in on 21s at the moment. I mean, just to add to that, would he go with 2 up front and the diamond midfield, Jesper, or can you see him maybe going a 5 with a sole striker, a lone striker with Ivanovic?
I think he could maybe try and repeat what we did yesterday, because I think Middlesbrough, they like to play through the middle a lot as well, and he wants to congest the midfield area as well. So I could see maybe we do that. Again, I've got doubts about Macaulay Langstaff, but he does put in the work rate, and maybe that could work in our favor on Saturday. What I did notice is I thought we got the press right yesterday. I thought our press was excellent up front. The way we pressed them, the way we forced the keeper to kick the ball out of play, and the way he lost the ball, the way he almost scored an own goal because of our pressing. And then that's what we need to do on Saturday. And then maybe we can force Middlesbrough into making some mistakes, which we can then maybe capitalize on, which I hope we will. So I could see that, but I also heard rumors that Bangura Williams might be coming back into the side, so he could maybe come in and play a part. So yeah, I'm a bit unsure. I think it could work. So it'll be interesting to see how he actually lines up, because I think we're still short of wingers, aren't we?
Yeah, and that's the thing, I guess. Without Negley, without Aziz, who probably two of our sort of bright sparks, haven't they, in recent months. Obviously, Bangura being out injured, who's not really a natural winger, but obviously he's played out there. So you only got Emarku, who, unfortunately seems like he can only really sort of do it off the bench, and doesn't seem to kind of find the right kind of feet when he starts games. So it's always been quite challenging. But I just feel that with the formation we've got, with the players we've got available, and then playing two up front, it does seem to work for us. And I don't know about yourself, Andrew, but I felt that once we went a goal ahead and Sheffield United had to really attack us, it then allowed space around their defenders for the likes of Coburn and Ivanovic to make those runs into the channel and kind of open up a little bit more. We had that. I mean, the chance you said we missed with Ivanovic. Yeah, how open were they at the back then when Coburn went down one channel and Ivanovic was clearly unmarked going through? So I don't know. Do you feel that maybe this is a formation we're going to try and keep going for the rest of the season, even with Negley and Aziz come back?
I liked it, Joe, and it created a lot more chances. Can I just make a point on what Jesper said a minute ago? Yeah. I don't know. I really, really rate that Sheffield United goalkeeper. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were raving about him on the post match, weren't you?
Yeah. But last night his kicking was atrocious. Yeah. The amount of times he kicked the ball out of play, blah blah. So there was last night before I went to bed, there was this Sheffield United live channel. I just saw it. The guy was live talking about the game. So I actually put in there, I said, I've underestimated your goalkeeper, because I thought he was brilliant. And he said exactly what Jesper just said. He said it was all down to you guys pressing us so much that he was just getting nervous and he was panicking on the ball. But normally he's nothing like that. And I always knew he was a good goalkeeper, but yeah, we really put him under pressure last night with the press, like Jesper said, and I think it made a massive difference. But yeah, to answer your question, Joe, I like the system. It worked. The chances we created were very, very good chances. We could have won that game 3-0, mate. So can Langstaff do it? Again, I don't know, mate. Massive, massive question mark. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting what Alex Neil does this Saturday. I mean, like I said, if he does stay with the formation and bring Langstaff in to do arguably Coburn's job, yeah, it can work. It may not. It'd be difficult to sort of predict that one, really. Just very quick one. So say hello to Fevs. Obviously, does a lot of sort of write-ups and podcast stuff for Bristol City. He said, good to see you in the mix affecting the shake-up. Yeah, let's hope that you and us are in the final, Fevs. It'd be nice to see, wouldn't it? Talking about standout performances, Angelo. Obviously, we touched on a few players loosely, but I want you to kind of give your thoughts on the players that you felt stood out for you in particular, and then obviously I'll get Jesper's thoughts as well, and why. So if you could just go through, I mean, first of all, I want to start with Jensen. I mean, again, another clean sheet. He pulled off some great saves, especially that one with Kramer, where he accidentally ricocheted the ball off and he always went for a goal kick. What do you make of his performance and other players that you felt stood out for you?
Yeah, I actually did this on the post match last night. I went through every single player and stated like how I thought I played. A lot of people I've seen today have given Jensen man of the match. And Joe, do you know what I was really pleased about, mate? You know what we've been talking about, that the players don't give him any love.
Yes,
he got loads of love last night. Did you notice that?
And I noticed when that Raki, what's his face, had a shot. I think it was him, and Cooper and Joe Bryan blocked the shot. I think him off Cooper went for a goal kick, so a corner, And if you watch Jensen, he went flying out and sort of grabbed both Cooper and Jensen, sort of say, like, well done. So I guess it works both ways. You know, yes, they've got to praise him. He has to praise them as well. And that's quite good to see Jensen do that. So whether or not they're actually watching our shows or not, picking up on this, I'm not quite sure. But it was good to see. You could see there's a real togetherness, isn't there?
It was, mate. Yeah. And after the game, they were all cuddling Jensen, and Jensen was cuddling over. Yeah, it was great to see, because it did worry me that there was some disconnect or whatever. But yeah, he looked really happy, Jensen. And then there's that video as well when the players are coming through the tunnel at the end and they're high-fiving somebody. I don't know who they're high-fiving. And then Jensen shouts that it's on. I don't know if you picked that up. He goes,
is that what he said?
Yeah, he shouts that. On. Yeah. But brilliant. The point blank header save from Brereton Diaz was fantastic. I just love, like, I keep saying this, when them balls come really low and he dived down and he clasped them into his chest, he never ever lets one slip, mate. He is a very, very good goalkeeper.
And we've had our fair share of goalkeepers over the years.
Archer would spill them every day, mate.
And who's the other fellow? Is it George Long? Again,
don't talk about that idiot, mate.
But he would, weren't he? So many keepers, you're right, that would fumble those, you know. And it seems, I think Jensen makes that look so easy, but it's not an easy thing to do. You know, you've got that real focus and to command that.
Jensen flapped at one corner last night, though, in the second half. Yeah.
Yes.
But apart from his flapping, he is a great goalkeeper. I think he is a great goalkeeper, mate. And even the Sheffield United guy that I was listening to last night, he put a lot of praise. He said, bloody hell, the Millwall goalkeeper was very, very good. And yeah, I agree with you, Joe, as well. That one where it looked like could have been an own goal by Kramer, that was a great save, mate. Yeah.
Really, really good save. Any standout players for you, Jesper? Anyone that you felt needs honourable mention and you thought played really well?
No, I just want to comment on that Jensen thing. I think he had a very good game yesterday, really good. And he is a good goalkeeper. He's a very good shot stopper. We've seen it time and time again this season, how good he is in one-on-one situations as well. But the one that you just pointed out, Angelo, was the one I was going to mention. The corners and the crossings still worries me when he comes for them, because he should be commanding the area, but still he flaps it yesterday. He ends up on the floor. He doesn't seem confident enough when he comes out, and that's the only worrying bit. But I think apart from that, he's been very good, and I think he's a very good goalkeeper for us.
I hope Carl agrees with you there, Jesper, as well. Exactly what you just said, and I think we've all seen that.
Yeah, exactly. I hope it will improve next season, but it's one of them where he is he 25, 26, so it should be sort of part and parcel of his game now, so I doubt that he will improve massively, but let's see. Hopefully something can be done in the summer. Otherwise, I think I have to mention Joe Bryan and Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell just seemed so confident in there yesterday, and I think he's been told also by Alex Neil to not just lump it forward, keep the ball, find a solution, try and pass it, and not just try and pass it naively, but find clever solution. And he just did it fantastic yesterday. He was also involved in the goal, which was pleasing to see. His forward passing is with real purpose and penetration, which is good to see that we dare to do something instead of just passing it sideways. But I think, sorry.
No, so what's your thoughts on Kramer? Obviously played centre half, clean sheet. 90 minutes, and also played 45 minutes the last game where he kept a clean sheet there as well in that 45-minute sort of spell. So, are you quite pleased with his performances, and can you see him being a good replacement for Tanganga?
If Tanganga goes, that's the question. I think that's what we all think. What's going to happen in the summer, but if we just play with the thought that he will be, then I think he could be a good replacement. I thought he slotted in seamlessly yesterday. I thought he looked really good. He looked a good partnership with Cooper, and you couldn't see that this was actually the first full game that they played together. So I've got every bit of confidence that he can be a very good Millwall player for years to come. So that was very pleasing, because I think that was my most worrying thing about the formation yesterday, that we did not have Tanganga in the side. So
and
really good game.
Well, for Kramer, like I say, relatively young. So he's 23, 24, I think. And I think Angelo touched on it on his post-match, that I think having Leonard alongside him as well, and that right back, just sort of helped him a little bit, helped his game out. I think we looked very strong. And like Andrew said as well earlier, that could potentially be our back four, back five, including Jensen, can't it? Cheers to that, guys. And also just a very quick mention, sorry, for Leonard, Jesper. We'll talk about Joe Bryan. We're giving praise to Mitchell, Coburn. against Crammer. But I think something's been mentioned to Len. I think Angela mentioned it as well. On his pod, on these post match, that you never guess he's been out this long, has he? He's come in, he's second game, 90 minutes.
Exactly
plays midfield as well.
Yeah. No, I thought exactly the same. Is he going to last 90 minutes yesterday in such a hectic game as it was? But I think it was just a perfect game for him. The way we were set up a bit more defensively. Then in these sort of systems, he is one of the best right backs in the league. I'd still argue we need to go out and buy a new right back in the summer, a more fullback, probably a little bit more attacking-minded player, especially when we play at home, when we need to unlock defenses, when we have more of the possession, etc. But I definitely, I think he has extended his contract, hasn't he? He triggered a clause, didn't he?
Another year extension.
So I'm really happy that he's staying for next season as well, also for the dressing room, etc. So really, really strong performance also from him. That was, it was all good performances all around, I have to say. Maybe, excellent. And this is not to throw anyone under the bus, but again, Luke Kondo, again a bit invisible, wasn't he? I mean.
Although to his defence, I quite liked him in that diamond midfield. He operated on that left side, didn't he? But it allowed him to get more in game. I mean, we're not seeing him play in a two as he would do in the other formation, but just seeing him play a little bit more centrally, a little bit more deeper. I think he looked quite comfortable on the ball. I think it did work out. It certainly had one of his best games, I think, on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't bad. It's not what I'm saying. It's just still I'm still missing something. There's something, what's the word? I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but it's still a bit like. We have a word in I can't remember what the word is. Anyway, but you still think
what's the word in Danish? I'll see if I can translate it for you.
It's called uforløst. It's something when something hasn't really exploded yet. It's something you're waiting for something to happen, and then
that's what I was going to say. Exactly. Yeah. Uforløst means that. Uforløst means where you kind of explode,
boiling over.
Yeah, sort of expand. That's what it means, isn't it? Uforløst. Angelo, before we play, I want to cover off is Kasper De Norre. I mean, the boy has been so consistently. I mean, he's challenging Tanganga for player of the season at the moment, and rightly so. And yesterday, again, I thought it was great. The way he took that pass from Billy Mitchell, he done a sort of swivel, didn't he, on the ball, and that little left foot, cute little ball into Coburn to allow him to score. I mean, just what's your thoughts on Kasper? And while we're waiting for you to give your thoughts, guys, in the chat, who's your player of the year out of Tango and Kasper? Very simple, Tango or Kasper? Who's leading it for you? Go on, Andrew.
It was just a bit of class, wasn't it, mate? It was just like a little touch, a little flick, and then Coburn's through and scores a fantastic goal. I think there was a stat going about, wasn't there, a couple of weeks ago that Kasper, the most interceptions in the whole of the championship. He's been doing a lot of the dog shit work where a lot of people don't really realise. Fantastic player, mate. He's had a great season, and you know what I love about Kasper? I get the feeling he loves being at Millwall, mate. I get the feeling he loves it. I just get that impression. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always celebrating. He's the first one there to celebrate the goal.
Good point.
You can really tell that he's enjoying it. Joe, can I just quickly cover Kramer? Yeah,
of course.
I thought, right, his performance was so bloody good last night that I actually forgot about Tanganga.
Me too. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah,
especially the first half. I thought the first half he was absolutely perfect, mate. And also Alex Neil, he used the word sensational. He said he thought that Kramer was sensational. And the way that he dealt with Tyrese Campbell, he's got pace for a centre half. He's tall.
He won some really, really good commanding headers, didn't he? I saw that.
Good. Yeah. So I just wanted to give Kramer a little bit more praise because I think he deserved it. And to do a performance where we didn't think about Tanganga last night.
That's right. Yeah.
It's weird that
who would even think that we possibly got a good chance against the playoffs without no Tanganga for the rest of the season, but we've got Kramer in there. We're feeling quite confident. So that says a lot.
what a great defence we've got. What a great defence
Yeah.
we've got. Mr. Reliable now, Mr. Joe Bryan. We've got one of the best right backs in the league in Lenny. Yeah. We got one of the most experienced, and he frightens every opposition in Cooper. And then we've got Tanganga or Kramer. It's fantastic, mate. Fantastic defence. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. And also, just finish off on Casper. You talk about all the donkey work he's having to do, all the tracking back, the work off the ball to win tackles, win interceptions, and win the ball back. But he's still got 3 goals and 3 assists this season from a midfielder. I don't think there's any other midfielder apart from Casper that actually contributed that much in regards to goals. Which again is a great credit to him, and just shows you he's doing all the donkey work that everyone else is doing, but he's also adding value at the other end, which is
and a lot of people have been calling for him to play the number 10, isn't it, Joe? Because he can find a pass. He does get the odd goal here and there, and in a way, he can play any position in the midfield, can't he, Casper?
Yeah, well, he can even play right back. He's played right back in Belgium, I believe, years ago, and so he can play in every position. So in the chat very quickly, so we've got a Casper there for Leslie, Tango for Randy Roberts, Chris Brown's going for Casper, Ollie Casper 100%. It's going for Joe Bryan. That's interesting. Carl Bracey going for Casper. Dave Turner going for Jaffet. Jeff Cook, Tango, but Casper and Bryan are coming up the rails fast. Absolutely. Henry gets lost it, however. Yeah. So again, that's pretty much all the. So you can see that it's kind of neck and neck. I think Casper's probably just edging it at the moment. And if Tango's going to be out for the rest of the season, but I guess all the votes are in now, aren't they? So even regardless if Casper goes on to have an incredible next 5 games, most of the votes are in now anyway. So it's irrelevant, really.
For player of the season, is it closed?
I don't think they're closed, but because the vote is already starting, a lot of people will got their votes in. Obviously, there's still some who haven't voted yet. Have you not?
Have you voted? Yeah,
I voted. Yeah, already.
Yes, but you voted. I didn't even see.
No, I haven't voted yet. No.
Have you not, guys? If you haven't voted yet for your player of the season, I think it's on their website. You can vote. Do it and vote for your favourite Millwall player. You've still got time to do it. Got another Casper there. Got a Billy there from Billy. No favouritism there, Billy. So that's interesting. Guys, Angelo, BFS and Coburn forming a strike partnership at the moment, which is great. We talk about them struggling for goals. BFS scored 8 goals this season. Coburn scored 5. I looked at a quick stat there because games played, I believe the BFS has played like 32 games this season and scored 8 goals.
Started
and sub appearances, sorry. Appearance-wise for Coburn, he's only had 16 this season and scored 5 goals. So when you look at that, the BFS scores a goal on average every 4 games. Whereas
how many
Coburn,
goals did you say BFS has scored?
8.
Oh, right. And then the one in the cup.
Sorry, Joe. He started 18. I just looked it up.
It's like 18, yeah. So a lot of them were sub appearance as well. Yeah. And then Coburn, sorry, BFS scores 1 goal every 4 games on average, and Coburn at the moment he's scoring 1 every 3 games. So he's certainly got the better ratio at the moment. So I guess would you say that Coburn is the better goal scorer of the 2 at the moment? Who's probably most valuable out of those 2 strikers, Angelo?
I think the BFS is the more clinical striker. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit unfair if he's to count all them substitute appearances. Is it? Do you think it's a bit unfair?
Could be, because I guess, Jesper, I mean, you probably know better than us. I guess those substitute appearances, some of them being like 10 minutes at the end or 50 minutes at the end, probably not quite enough. Whereas Coburn, majority of the time, has started games, isn't he, rather than come on as a sub?
Yeah, with the BFS, I just don't recall him missing many chances.
No.
Whereas with Coburn, I can recall him missing more chances than the BFS. And what I love about the BFS is he scores every kind of goal, doesn't he? Every kind of goal. Yeah.
Free kicks, penalties. Coburn's missed penalties, isn't he, as well? And
headers, goalkeeper, volleys,
right.
chips to goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You know, I think I said it the last time I was on. If he can get into double figures this season, fantastic first season for a 19-20-year-old guy in his first season in England, new country, new league. You know, he's young. I think that's brilliant for the first season, and I would expect him next season to get minimum 15, and then the season after that, I think we'll be struggling to keep hold of him. I think he's a great finisher. I'm just shocked that he didn't take that touch last night, because if anybody was going to take a touch and control it and just slip it beside the goalkeeper, I would have said the BFS.
You were better on him, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If he takes a touch, he scores. I'm confident. Yeah,
I agree. Jesper, what's your thoughts on the two? Who would you go for as your most important striker out of the BFS and Coburn for yourself personally?
I think it's. I don't think it's fair to sort of say who I would prefer, because they're two different strikers and they fit two different systems, but they go very well together. At least that's what we saw yesterday. I think they bring something different to the team, both of them. I would agree, as Angelo says. The BFS, he scores a lot of different goals. He seems like he could be sort of a complete striker. And what we also seen is in the box, you know, if the delivery is spot on, he will score. You know, we saw it twice against Pompey. We saw it against, Blackburn in December as well. You know, he finds pockets of space when the delivery is spot on, and he will get goals. And that also that freak goal he scored against, where was it, in the FA Cup as well. You know, he's in there, and he's clinical. Yes, he had a huge chance yesterday. I think he was even surprised himself about how much space he had. I don't know what he thought when he hit it from almost outside the box. It's just one of them where you're like,
first time, yeah.
I think he must have thought that he had someone in his back and he had to get a shot in, or else he would lose the ball. Otherwise, it makes no sense.
I think exactly.
You know, fair play to him. You could see how disappointed and gutted he was at himself when he also when he was subbed. You could just see he was annoyed at himself. But it's one of them things that happens, and he will score more goals for us for sure. I like him.
Yeah.
And as for Coburn, I like him as well. You know, they seem like a good pairing. And the thing is that what we're going to miss on Saturday is definitely some physicality up front, because he's very good at bringing his teammates into play and hold up the ball and
winning flick-ons, headers.
Exactly. And Macaulay Langstaff will not do that. So it's how we approach the Borough game. We can't play that direct. We need to keep it on the ground to make first of all Macaulay better, and also even though it's in case we do go two up front. So it will be very interesting to see how we do line up, how we approach, and actually how we're going to play our football, because it will be a big miss.
Spot on. Staying with yourself, Jesper. And before we get Jesper's answer on the next question, guys, in the chat, if you can sign Josh Coburn in the summer, would you have him? A simple yes or no. Yes, you want to sign him. No, you don't want to sign him. Jesper, lots of rumours about, you know, Coburn, will he or won't he sign for us? Alex Neil's come out saying, look, I want to get him on board. I want to sign him. But there's lots of rumours saying he doesn't want to sign for Millwall. Not for any bad reason, but he's such a local boy. He loves in the North East. He loves Middlesbrough. He's very, very loyal to Middlesbrough. And I think he wants to kind of get back up there and start playing again, you know. That might change, you know, if Carrick's still in charge next season. He says, listen, we don't want you here anymore. He's a young kid. You know, he's got his friends. He's got his family back in the North East. But what do you make of that? And would you have him next season, or do you not see he's the right sort of player for us?
I think he is the right sort of player, but the price needs to be right as well. You know, I think it was rumored about 3 million in the last summer. I don't think we should be spending that. I can see him being a very good player for us. The whole situation with Middlesbrough is up in the air, because they're also fighting for promotion just like we are. And it's also a case of, is Carrick going to be the manager next season? How are they going to play, etc., etc.? Are they going to bring in new strikers? There's so many unknown factors. The rumors are, as you said, that he probably doesn't want to leave, but it's not always up to the players to decide that, is it? And in case they want to ship him off, does he want to find another club up north? But I don't know how many options he would have. Then you got Sunderland up north, then you got, what else is up there? What's next one? Is it going to be Hull, or are we looking at Lancashire? Or if you even go to Lancashire, why not go to London and play, because you're not at home anyway? So
it's true.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I'd have him for the right price. We shouldn't be overspending, and we shouldn't be committing to a price like 3 million. And also, you want him to come here, right? So if we do make a deal, you also want it to come out and say, right, it could be a very good decision for me. But it's funny about the rumors that Alex Neil has said that he wants to sign. It almost seemed like there was a deal in place, didn't it? So he's been very straightforward about what and how he sees his future for Copeland at Millwall, at least. But
and
it could also be good for the player to have that sort of faith from the manager saying, like, if you want to come here, I'm more than happy to have you.
I want you. Exactly. And Angelo, I mean, let's not throw him under the bus here. You can see quite clearly he's loving his time at Millwall. He's enjoying playing for us. He's enjoying being in the club. But I guess in his eyes, it's a loan move. It's a short-term loan move. He's down here for the experience. He's loving the experience. Whether or not he wants to stay down here permanently or not is another story. But what do you make of all that? And to Jesper's point, should we? I'm not saying should we force him to stay and play for us, but is he the right sort of player for us for next season? On what grounds would you want him here next season? And would it be sort of price or kind of attitude, if you like,
So Joe, I don't know if I'm going mad or not, right? But I am 95% sure I read an article where he said he absolutely loves living in London. He loves it. Him and his missus love it.
Really?
They love living in London. Yeah.
Was that recent? Was it?
It was recent, mate. It was within the last 2-3 weeks. I don't know whether I read it on South London Press or if it was on the news at Den, but one of them done a big story with him, and he literally says, "We love it. We love living in London because you can get everything. You can just go out to like your Bromley and your Beckenham and get your little bit of a country pub or whatever. You can just within minutes you're in the West End, and it just gives you so many options on what to do in your spare time. And he said it's a different world from where I come from, and we love it. So I heard a few little rumours like you did that he doesn't want to sign for us, but he loves living in London. So, and I don't know if you saw the interview, him and George Honeyman for Millwall TV last night. Great banter amongst the players. He looks like he's part of the crew. Looks like he's enjoying it. He's playing games. Why wouldn't he want to stay here for a couple of years? Lee Gregory done it. He come down from up north and spent 6-7 years with us, and said it's the best club he's ever played for, So and my answer is yes, I would definitely sign him, mate. Definitely for the right money, definitely sign him.
You would. And Wall just mentioned here the interview with Sturge. I think it was on Mill TV. You're right. I think they're asking each other questions, aren't they?
That might have been it. Yeah, Wall might be right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think he's right. It's on Millwall TV if you want to watch it. Yeah, he definitely, says how brilliant he thinks London is. So,
yeah. So I just end off with yourself, Angelo. So, with regards to the sign, would you have him? Sorry, for next season, personally. Yes.
Yeah. If the money's right, these injuries, I don't think he is injury prone, mate. I just think he just had 2 unlucky injuries. Someone stepped on his foot and broke a bone. That can happen. To any
that's what I'm saying. The second one, it's not a muscular thing, is it, or a problem? So it's a broken bone, which could happen to anyone, couldn't it? You're absolutely spot on. It's happened to Tanganga, So just shows you. Angelo, to look at your thoughts on Alex Neil. I mean, we keep sort of coming in and out and talking about Alex Neil and monitoring his performance as a manager. How do you rate his management stint with us so far? And is he getting better and better? Is he surprising you, or you think he's not quite where you feel he needs to be? What do you make of his management career so far?
Do you know what, Joe? I always remember when he came down to Norwich, right? He come down to Norwich and he started to do really well at Norwich. And I read an article or it was a video where what was the Scottish club that he left? Was it Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah. So apparently, when he left Hamilton, apparently all the players, all the staff were in tears. They left because they all loved him so much. I'm getting the impression that our players are starting to love him a lot.
Yeah,
Hooper's bigged him up. Joe Bryan, my God, Joe Bryan said he's one of the best coaches he's ever played for.
And he's played for quite a number of top coaches as well, hasn't he?
League, mate, this guy, yeah. So tactically, he does lots of different things for different games, which I love. He's not a one-trick pony. I love Neil Harris. Yeah, I love that guy, and I'll always love him. But maybe he was a bit too much of a one-trick pony. Yeah, you know, the best motivator, a better motivator than Alex Neil. But Alex Neil seems to me that he's just got the tactical. You know, there was another player that said that he brings things to our attention that we would never even thought of. You know, he goes into detail on so many things, and
it's true.
Yeah, listen, I think we've ended up with a top manager. And do you know what as well, Joe? Right, there's a video. There's a YouTube video going about last night. It's 8 minutes long, and it was an interview. It might be Justin Allen. If you put Justin Allen on YouTube, there's an 8-minute video of him after the Sheffield United game. I think I posted it in our group, and one of the reporters that asked him about, will you get in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, cut a long story short, you know, he gives it the old one game at a time. But then he said, if we get in the playoffs, I fancy my chances because I've been there before. And I loved it when he said that. You know, when he said that, I fancy my chances if we get in the playoffs, I thought, oh, my God.
So he's trying to be humble, but at the end of the day, he's confident to say,
bring it on, you know. And
I love that.
He got Norwich up through the playoffs,
Yeah.
And I think he got Sunderland up through the playoffs as well.
Sunderland as well.
Yeah, from League One to the Championship. Yeah, exactly.
So, answer your question, mate. I think he's a great manager, and I love what he's done so far. And I'm really excited for next season as well, if we don't make it this season.
Yeah, nice one, Angelo. Jesper, what's your thoughts on Alex Neil's stint as manager so far? Are you been impressed with him? And can you see, you know, that things working? And do you think he's the best person for the job?
I think it is. I think we're trying to evolve as a team, the way we play. We have to remember he's only been here for a bit more than 3 months now. It seems longer than that, but it isn't. And he's barely had any time on the training ground with the players. It's been game after game after game, also because we've been involved in the FA Cup. So to do what he has done now, and that we are in a shout for the playoffs now, I think it's tremendous. You know, when we looked in December, we couldn't buy a goal. We didn't win for, what was it, 7 or 8 games or whatever, and everything was doom and gloom. We thought, oh, here we go again, a new relegation battle coming up in the spring, etc. But he's just flipped it around, and he's not afraid to go for it. I think, as Angelo said, I really like Neil Harris as well. Everything he's done for the club, and it's not because there is a but there is a but after this. But it's just to say that he's not afraid to go for it after the big boys as well. We go to Leeds and say, we got to take on Leeds. We're not just going to sit back, and with 2 blocks and sit in and not do anything. We're going to try and make something in these games. So we go to Leeds, we win. We went to Luton, difficult place. Okay, I know they're in the relegation scrap. Sorry, we win. We go to when we go away from home, how many away games has he won since he come in? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We need to sort out the Den, of course. It's also a new environment. It's a new atmosphere. We all know how the fans clicks with the players. There's a certain element to that they still need to work on. But I think if we can continue this away form also next season, but let's see where we are, in which league we're playing. I don't know. But to answer your question, there was a small sidetrack. I think he's done well, and I'm really interested to see what he can do in the summer with a full squad, with some reinforcements, really implementing his style of play, etc. It's going to be very interesting. I think he likes it here as well. And I like that he's a no bullshit manager. You know, he says things as they are. And as Angelo says, you know, when he came out and said it yesterday, we're going to take it 1 game at a time. But if we do it in the playoff, we bloody deserve it, and we deserve all the praise that we're going to get.
We're going to win
so
it.
He's but it was not about that he fancied his chances, but also the fact that he said that we deserve the praise. Why shouldn't we? You know,
that's
this
right.
is a tough ask for us. You know, the teams that we played, the Sunderland, Leeds, Sheffield United away,
Burnley,
exactly. So, I think
cheers,
really good manager. Yeah.
Thanks, can I just say something as well? Like, you know, I think I said it before. I was worried about our Den. You know, we haven't been doing that great at the Den. Slowly, he is improving it. Right. If you look at our last 5 home games, we've got a win, a draw, a loss, which is Bristol City, and then we've got a one. We won and won. So out of the last 5 games at the Den, we've won 3. So slowly, quietly, it looks like he's sorting that out. The away record, which I've got here on my computer here as well, we are 6th place in the away table. But you know, I think he keeps saying it. Before he turned up, we'd won 1 away game. Since he's been here, we've 5, mate. So
it's incredible.
Slowly, he's just Joe Edwards. When Joe Edwards come in, I was excited for Joe Edwards, but he tried to fix things too quick.
Yeah, he tried to reinvent the wheel a bit, Russ, didn't he?
Yeah. Alex Neil, with his experience, he's fixing things day by day, little repairs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's starting to progress. He started awful, didn't he? He lost at home to Oxford, but just everything is improving, mate. And like Jesper said, he keeps saying it. I love coaching these players. They're a great group. It's a great club. He is loving it here as well, mate. Yeah.
But do you remember after the Plymouth game, he also said that he dialed the wheel too much. That he said we need to go back to basics. That was quite interesting as well. That we tried too much here, so we need to go back to sort of basics.
Quite interesting. Which is refreshing to hear, because that's what you wanted Joe Edwards to stay and his first few games, but he never did he, Joe Edwards? He was no, we're still going to play this way, and he didn't really kind of read the room, so to speak, whereas Alex Neil did. And very, very quickly, as you say, he said, we're going to dial it back a little bit, didn't we? Sorry, Angelo, go on, mate.
And he also said, Jesper, after that game, he said, this is a freak result. He went, don't worry, I made a mistake, this is a freak result. And everything he said is come to fruition. It was a freak result. It was a freak result.
It was a bizarre game, that one.
Huh?
Yeah, it was a very bizarre game. It's only one thinking. We're 3 points off the playoffs. We just beaten, the second best home team in the league, and then we lost 5-1 in Plymouth, who's going to go down now. How mental is that? No,
they're 3-0 down tonight. Plymouth.
They're going to.
One thing, just to conclude on Alex Neil as well, is that I've always felt over recent years we've never had a manager. Unlike Harris, who has that connection with the fans, knows how to bring the fans on side to kind of help, especially at home. I mean, Rowett never really utilised it. Joe Edwards never really utilised it. Obviously, Harris did. And initially, when Alex Neil first took over, I kind of felt that he too was very similar to Rowett and Joe Edwards, where he didn't really kind of like invest a lot of energy in the fans. But just recently, I'm hearing talking a lot about fans. So I think in his post-match interview yesterday, he talked about how important it was to have the fans, give them an extra 10%. I think he mentioned, didn't he, about how important they were, how they played a big part, and how that's important for them and the players, how they thrive off that as well. So it's great that he acknowledges the Millwall fans and he knows how important that is. And I think that's why he's so keen to get us into winning ways at the Den. And I think a lot of that is spiraled on the Millwall fans and connecting with the Millwall players, as Harris did during his tenure, and get that extra 10% out of our boys. I don't know what you guys think of that.
And Joe, do you know something, mate? Right, there's a guy on YouTube. He's got a very, very successful championship YouTube channel. I can't remember his name, but he's very good.
Not Broom.
No, he's a Preston. He's a Preston.
Right.
Supporter.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a Preston supporter. And when Millwall signed him, I remember he spoke about him and he said the only downside to Alex Neil is he doesn't connect with the fans. He's sort of like, and
I heard that as well. Remember?
Yeah, it just proves what a great manager he is, because he's learning from his mistakes. Because he is connected with the fans. He walks around and he always gives it that, doesn't he? At the end,
he
said, he does his little fist pump. And what he said last night on Millwall TV is music to our ears, and he does appreciate the fans.
Even the last game against Pompey, when Mihajlo got the 2 goals, at the end, he was congratulating all the players. He gave Mihajlo a good cuddle, and he whispered something to his ear, and he pushed him to the fans. And it's almost like he told Ivanovic, go to the fans now and acknowledge them. He didn't. He done the old clap, but he wanted Mihajlo to go over, have that connection with the fans. So again, I think you're right. I think he's learning himself. And it just shows you're never too old, never too experienced to keep learning and developing as a coach or a manager or whatever you do in your profession. And I think, at the moment, I think he's getting it. I think he realizes how important the fan base is, to how pivotal they are to the performances of the players, and getting extra 10% out of them, players.
And sorry to go back to Chris Wilder, talking about managers and fans. Did you see what he done last night? Chris Wilder had the final whistle. He immediately run down the tunnel.
Oh, I did see that. That's poor, wasn't it? That was really
poor. So he slags the fans off, right? Slags the fans off, calls them a disgrace. He loses and doesn't even applaud them, just runs down the tunnel and disappears.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely spot on. Just a couple of little ones I flagged up here. So, Charles Luke says, sorry, I was watching the public game. Is Saturday a bigger game, in your opinion, than Blackburn at home?
No, not yet.
Blackburn at home, we was in the
No.
playoffs, weren't we?
No.
Yeah.
There's still 5 games left. No.
Yeah. And again, it's that mentality is that taking one game at a time at the moment. I think that's the key to it. Baz has said the big Serb has got 0.41 goals per 90 minutes. Josh Coburn 0.51 goals per 90 minutes. So there you go. That gives us a more accurate stat. Cheers for that, Bazza. Yeah, so that's pretty much, I just want to end that with Alex Neil. I agree. I think he's doing a cracking job. Like I said, if there's only one little criticism of him, that I just felt that he didn't really connect enough with the fans or bring the fans in. But I'm just glad that he's noticed that now. And the last couple of games,
I just say,
really
I think it's also, Joe, I just want to mention as well, he's a clever coach, he also tries to read the room. It's a new club. It's a new fan base. How do I interact with the fans, etc.? It's different in all clubs. He also said it, I think, in his post-match from yesterday. You don't have this connection with the fans and the players in every club. This is not a given. This is something special that we have at Millwall. And even though we can also be, horrible fans at times when it doesn't go well, but I think he's just trying to be clever and say, like, how are we actually connecting with the fans? How should I interact? Because you remember Ian Holloway when he came into the club, he ran around the pitch. And I mean, honestly, it can also turn into a circus, and you're like, what the hell is this then? I mean, you're not being you now. You're just pretending to sort of interact with the fans. This is not a clown show. So you can also do too much sometimes. That I'd rather have what Alex Neil is doing, coming in, trying to see, okay, how does this work? And then slowly starting to interact with the fans. Only Harris can get away with that at Southampton when he came out. It was almost like a wrestling fight. He came out and come on, lads.
I know. That really galvanized everyone.
Yeah,
and we needed it
because
desperately,
Neil can do that, but not any manager can just come out and.
You're actually spot on. And also, what I love about Alex Neil is that he gets our fan base. Yeah, it didn't take him very, very long. He gets it. And what I mean by that is he was put on the spot. I hate to talk about the old Palace game and what happened with Roberts, but the media are on in, the cameras on Sky Sports, and they put him under a lot of pressure to try and throw, Roberts under the bus and the fans and everything else. And I tell you what, the way he dealt with that and had our backs, the fans, the players, it just shows you what sort of guy he is. You know what I mean? Like, and he did it with passion, with loyalty, and it meant a lot too. I just love the way he handles the press and how he sort of talks. He's not someone who's going to, as you say, Andrew, like Wilder, throw fans under the bus and things like that. That's not his DNA whatsoever. And I do admire that about him. And I guess that's why the players respect him so much and are willing to run through brick walls for him, because of the person he is. So, fair play to him,
And Joe, there were some pundits that slagged him off for sticking up for Robert.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of pundits slagged him off, but he didn't care.
But he didn't care. He didn't care. At the end of the day, no. I think morally, he thought it was the right thing to do. Yeah. He didn't care what repercussions were by what he said or his actions. But ultimately, he's there as our coach, and he's there loyal to us and our fan base and our players. So I admire him for that as well, which is really good to see.
Yeah, that Adrian Durham on TalkSport tried to destroy him, mate. Yeah, he was talking so bad with Alex Neil.
No, I'm to end it off there. I know we sort of been going on this quite a long time this topic, but I think it's worth discussing, and I'm really sort of happy with Alex Neil. Guys in the chat, let us know your thoughts on Alex Neil as well. It'd be good to get your thoughts, whether you like him, not sure about him. Be interested what your thoughts are on that as well. Guys, just to wrap up things now, we've gone over the hour mark. I did say to Jesper, we'll probably do under an hour today. He said no chance, Zampa. But Saturday's game, must win, Angelo, isn't it? How do you see the game sort of panning out? And obviously no Josh Coburn as well.
Difficult game. Middlesbrough been in good form. Obviously they lost to Leeds, obviously last night.
1-0, yeah.
Let me just check their away form out, mate. So their away form, they've won 2 out of their last 5. Okay. Yeah. Listen, we can beat them, mate. We can beat them. I'm not frightened about Middlesbrough. Obviously, they're going to have some decent players, but yeah, I'm confident that there's going to be some atmosphere on Saturday at the Den. It's going to be full up. there was a great atmosphere, I thought, against Portsmouth. I was quite surprised because I think it was Chap said that the atmosphere wasn't that great against Portsmouth, but I thought it was a great atmosphere against Portsmouth. And even Alex Neil mentioned it the other night. He said the atmosphere at Portsmouth was great, and it was the sun was out, and Portsmouth brought a lot of fans, and that always creates a better atmosphere. But yeah, I think it's going to be a packed den, and I can only see us winning that game, mate. Yeah, very confident.
Yeah. Jesper, thoughts on Saturday, the Borough game? How do you see it panning out?
Unsure, to be fair. It's a very tough game. I think we've struggled against Middlesbrough the last couple of seasons, haven't we? But we should be full of confidence. If we can go to Sheffield United with a half-amputated squad and play like we did and win, then why shouldn't we be able to beat them? But it's going to be tough, and the remaining 5 fixtures is going to be extremely tough. But we've got a bit of momentum now, 3 wins in 4, and all to play for all of a sudden, which we didn't have maybe a couple of games ago. So confident, hopeful. Think we might nick it with a 2-1, 1-0 maybe. They do score a lot of goals, Borough, but they also concede quite a few. So let's see.
Yeah, and of course, like you mentioned earlier, Jesper, there's rumour that Reece Bangura-Williams could be available as well this Saturday. So it'd be quite good to get him to freshen things up in our midfield. Although I must say, Honeyman's been great last couple of games. Like I said, I think even Connell done all right yesterday. Mitchell's been fantastic. Casper's been great. So I think everyone's firing all cylinders. Even the players coming in, like Wes Harding and a few others, they've all been doing a decent job. And they're playing for the manager, they're playing for the badge. They're really giving it 100%. So I think whoever wears that shirt on Saturday, you're confident they're going to be doing, a great job for us. Whoever's picked to play. So so that kind of really brings us to it, really, doesn't it?
Can I just say, Joe? I actually love Wes Harding, mate.
Yeah, me too.
I hear that he's so great around the training ground. Every time he comes on, he gives it 150%. He doesn't let us down every time he plays. I love the guy, and like I said last time, I'd love to keep the guy, keep him at the club. Yeah, I think he's
as long as he wants to stay, because I remember having a chat with him end of last season, and he said he loves Millwall, loves being here. He said, but he goes, I want to play. Yeah, he sort of said it in a kind of, how can I say, almost like a begrudgingly sort of way. I don't really want to go, but I want to play, and I get that. A footballer's career is a short one. And, if you're not playing games, you're not playing, and you're playing for the reserves 1 and 21 sort of time, it can't be good. You want to play first team football, don't you? So you're right.
He's always the first one on the side of the pitch to congratulate the players as they come off.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Always. Yeah.
Always.
That was him giving the high fives last night. Like, I don't know if it was giving all the players the high fives last night.
Yeah. But, Wes, a lot of love for Wes there as well. Excellent. Jesper, anything you want to say and add before we wrap things up? Anything you want to mention here?
No, I just want to wish everyone good luck, and to all the supporters coming down on Saturday, remember to come by the stand, say hello, maybe buy a T-shirt for the course.
Are you going to fly over for that one, Jesper?
No, unfortunately not. I've got plans for August, though, coming over for the first home game of the season. So for my 40th birthday. So no, I'll have to sit that one out. But come down, say hello to all of you who's going to be down there, and I just hope we get 3 points and keep the season. Yeah,
yes, it's going to be hard to get a seat in the Premier League for August.
I know.
He will then move over permanently, then, won't you? If that happens.
Back to Rains Park, where I used to live. Yeah,
back to Rains Park. Exactly. I'll pick you up on the way from Surrey.
You live down there.
Driving in.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can pass through your way. Not a problem.
Carpooling.
Angelo, any final thoughts from you before we wrap things up?
No, just just great performance last night. Buzzes everybody up. Keeps the dream alive. Yeah, there is a chance. And funnier things that happen, so let's just take each one game at a time. Let's just try and get 3 points on Saturday, see how the other results go, and then we'll review it again, mate, innit? And then we'll do another show, and we'll say the player's still alive.
Well, that's it, exactly. We'll be carrying this on for a long time. Now, cheers. Just to end things off, guys, this Saturday, if you've been hiding under a rock, or you've had your headphones on for the last few weeks and been blocking everything out, big day for Chat with Chaps this Saturday at the Den, Millwall versus Middlesbrough. So myself, Chris, Angela, you're going to be there. Even Disco Steve's coming down from Bolton. I believe Ben's going to be there. Paul's going to be there. George's going to be there. Stephen's going to be there. Phil Clark, obviously, as you say, Angela, he works behind the scenes quite a lot. There's a lot of work tirelessly for this charity, which we're doing for Cancer Research UK. Guys, a lot of you in the chat probably know this. We've got shirts, T-shirts available, signed T-shirts from ex-Millwall players, the likes of Morrison, Gregory, who else? Ben Thompson, Webster. Byron Webster. Who else?
Gary Rowett.
Neil Harris.
Gary Rowett, yeah, ex-managers, Gary Rowett, Neil Harris. And we've also got signed squad shirts as well from all the squad, which is fantastic, you know. And everything we make, all the profits we make for these shirts, all going to Cancer Research UK. No One Likes Us Clothing have kindly created these T-shirts for us, and we're only paying them the cost price. They're not making any money out of this No One Likes Us T-shirt. So thank you to those guys as well. And we try to raise as much money as we can on the day. So there'll be a couple of tables, a couple of stalls. There'll be a big, we call it marquee thing. What do you call those things?
Pavilion.
Yeah, marquee, isn't it? Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. So you should be able to find us. Hopefully you won't miss us. I believe there'll be one by the main reception. I think there's going to be one by the blue bus. And I think there'll be one, I think even on the away end. Hopefully whoever pulls the short straw will be on the away end doing that one. Hope it's not me. Gazebo. There you go, Des. Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks, Andrew. Gazebo. Yeah, so we'll look out for the gazebos. You'll see us there. If you see us, don't be shy. Come over, say hello. You know, mention your name. I'm sure we'll remember most of the guys in this chat. I'm sure we will. So definitely mention your name. It'd be quite good to put a face to a name on Saturday. If you don't want to buy a T-shirt, it's absolutely fine. You can donate as little as you want. £1, £2, £5, £10. It's up to you. We've got these contactless on our phones, and it's an app set up for Cancer Research UK. So all the donations will go directly to Cancer Research UK, which is excellent. So they've worked all that out for us as well, which is brilliant. If you spend £5 or more, you get like a little pin badge. I don't know if you guys seen it on the social media. It's quite a cool one. You've got a little chat with chaps. You've got Cancer Research in a kind of a sort of a badge emblem together, which is quite nice. Again, you get that for £5. So please come over, say hello, donate, and make it a massive historical day. I mean, everyone's been touched by cancer, unfortunately, over the years through friends or families. I lost my grandparents through cancer. My niece had leukemia and stuff. So I'm sure we've all got stories that are close to our hearts, losing loved ones. It's a horrible disease. Obviously, there's no cure for it at the moment, but Cancer Research are doing their best to try and generate lots of money to help the research to hopefully one day eradicate cancer. And of course, we're just doing our bit, and you guys doing your bit as well. And I really do thank our listeners for your support, for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, because all my work on this channel goes to Cancer Research UK, as you know as well. So please get down there on Saturday. Come and say hello, and thank you so much for all your support. That's it from myself. Again, just thank you to Angelo and to Jesper again. Really do appreciate that. Nice one, Gary. Cheers, Alex. Lucia of the Borough fans. Exactly. We should do that. Yeah. There you go, Carl. My late uncle was exactly. It's a horrible disease. Sorry to hear that, Des. Yeah. So let's go and do it. There's no other fan base, no other club that does it like we do it, guys. So again, if you listen to this, watching this, I'm thanking you in advance. Please make it a special day for everyone. And when that announcement's made and we give the total that we raise, it'd be such an amazing sort of moment for us all. So that's it from me. That's it from Jesper. It's from Angelo. Have a really good end of the week, and we'll see you on Saturday. Thanks, guys.
Hi, it's Steve Morrison here, and you're listening to Chat with Chaps, chatting Millwall, come rain or shine.